Are there board members on your nonprofit that are just not the right fit and you don't know how to change them out or to ask them to leave? In this video, I'm going to teach you how to change board members in your nonprofit. You might be feeling like you're in a sticky situation because you have somebody who volunteers for you and it may not be working out and you don't know how to let that person go. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. First things first, let's check your policies and bylaws. There could be something in there that allows you to easily relieve a board member. If there's term limits or certain obligations that board member didn't meet, that may be an easy way for you to start the conversation. If you don't have term limits or there's really nothing that you can point to procedurally, then we're going to have the conversation. Because the real question here is, how do you ask a board member to step down? How do you fire a volunteer? That feels really icky sometimes. And what happens is a lot of nonprofit leaders wind up having board members that really aren't performing or aren't the right fit. And they hang around too long because no one knows how to ask them to step down or have the conversation that the relationship just isn't working. Before I go into how to have that conversation, I want to encourage you to look at your recruitment process so you can see how you got into this situation in the first place. If you don't have a recruitment process, you may need one, and you may need to put one into place or you're recruiting the right people on the board. If you want to learn how to get the right people on your board so you're not in this situation again, check out my video on what board members you need for your nonprofit. Next, look at your system of accountability. Do you have one? If you don't, that could be another reason why you're in this situation. Every board, every team really needs a system of accountability, some performance indicators that allow them to understand what they need to do and what's expected of them. And if you have a system of accountability, then that allows you to open the conversation from that perspective, from whatever they agreed to do that they aren't doing, and it can move you away from a personal conflict. If you don't have a system of accountability, this is a great opportunity for you to consider one because we really don't want to be in this situation again in the future. My company is called Courageous Communication. One of the things I do is to teach people how to have difficult conversations in a way that relieves the anxiety for both people in the conversation. Because sometimes you just have to sit down with that person and have an honest dialogue about what's going on. I'm going to give you just a little bit on how to do that. The first part of this process is to set what I call a preframe, or the conditions for the conversation. And this can be anything you want it to be. Hey, I would just like to talk with you about your service or how things are going or whatever. You can say, I typically have these conversations, even if you don't typically have them, with board members every so often, whatever it needs to just start the dialogue. And then the second part is to just ask a question that's an open-ended question. So how has this experience been for you? And just let them talk. And let them talk and share and just keep asking more questions. A lot of the questions I like to use is, so what makes you ask that? Or so what makes you say that? Tell me more about that. Don't judge, don't diagnose. Just allow them to share their experiences. Then when you feel like you have an understanding of their point of view and where they're coming from, you can then add your perspective to it. And a lot of times they're probably feeling uneasy too. Maybe they got busy at work or there's a new baby in their life or something that's keeping them from doing everything they wanted to do. I truly believe that most people want to show up 100% and they feel bad when they don't. And if you have an honest dialogue, they're probably going to give you some hints into some clues as to why they haven't been as productive as they want to be. And then you can use that to help them make the decision to maybe possibly step down. Say, man, I hear that it's so busy for you right now. And I can see that in the work that you're producing because we were really hoping we could engage you at a higher level. And I can see that's not happening. What do you think we could do about that? So what I did was I validated their perspective and then I asked them for a solution to the problem. I didn't have to give a solution. I opened up the dialogue and asked them for a solution. Just be honest and compassionate, and the two of you together will find the right way forward, I'm sure. I want to say just one more thing. We tend to avoid difficult conversations because of what we're going to feel in them. That feels scary. I feel afraid. I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be shamed. And part of being a leader and part of being a nonprofit leader and a leader in any circumstance is to be a master of your emotions. If you can feel anything, you can do anything. So just be aware that one of the reasons why you may be hesitating to have this conversation is because there's something in there you don't want to feel. If you can name that, whether it's shame or rejection or whatever you don't want to feel, if you can name that and then go into the conversation, that feeling's not going to have as much power. And you're going to be able to have the dialogue with that person with a much bigger and open heart. Just remember that you and the board member are both together because you're committed to a cause, and bringing it back to your commitment to that organization and the change that you want to see in the world will allow you to have an honest and rich dialogue so that you can make the best decision possible moving forward. So if you know someone who's struggling to change board members on their nonprofit, please share this video with them and check out all my videos around nonprofit board leadership.